President Putin has warned the West not to cross what he called a red line with Russia, stating that it would trigger an asymmetrical, rapid and harsh response.
When a nuclear-armed country fights to the end, it will have consequences far beyond the borders.
Великой Победы! Ура!
И вы окажетесь втянутыми в этот конфликт помимо своей воли.
The situation between the world's two superpowers, America and Russia, has become extremely tense. America keeps coming up with dates of when Russia is likely to invade Ukraine. So American bombers have started to patrol the skies of Europe, while Russia has also deployed hypersonic missiles.
And that this is all Putin. I don't think even his people know for certain what he's going to do.
Would you ever see yourself personally sanctioning him if he did invade Ukraine?
Yes.
The President of the United States, Sleepy Joe Biden, has announced he will impose very tough sanctions against Moscow if Russia attacks Ukraine. This video will look at how things can escalate over in India if Russia decides to invade Ukraine. If the United States imposes tough sanctions against Russia, then it will increase India's problems. There'll be a crisis on the S-400 air defense deal, which Russia signed with India recently.
I think it shines a spotlight on the destabilizing role that Russia is playing not only in the region, but potentially beyond as well.
The United States keeps threatening the mother of all sanctions on Russia, and if they're serious about it and go ahead with sanctions against Russia, then the Americans are likely to stop the exemption given to India, where it openly deals with Russia in respect to weapons. If there's a war, then oil prices will start touching the sky and inflation will reach its peak. Most countries of the world are already suffering, trying to build back better after the epidemic, so of course India will suffer. However, that won't be the only problem India will have to deal with. The biggest problem for India would be when Russia starts demanding a plebiscite in Ukraine, a referendum on whether parts of Ukraine are prepared to join the Russian Federation. Russia annexed Crimea on the grounds that 90% of the people there, according to Moscow, supported joining Russia. A plebiscite allows you to annex another's territory in the name of ethnic and religious solidarity. If Russia does this, then tomorrow Pakistan can also claim the same by conducting a referendum in Pakistan-administered Kashmir. Earlier, when the referendum was held in Crimea, the Hurriyat Conference, a separatist faction of Kashmir, had welcomed it. So the Kashmiris are definitely looking at the situation unfolding in Ukraine. Narendra Modi is definitely stressed about the situation. However, the Indians aren't really discussing all this. That's because Russia is a friend of India, always has been. However, if there's a referendum in Ukraine, I highly doubt India will support it. If there's any serious escalation in Ukraine leading to war, then India will be under pressure from both Russia and the United States. And Narendra Modi will have to choose sides. Gone are the days when you can play both camps. Look at Erdogan, for instance, who's currently sanctioned, who's recently started babbling about normalizing ties with Israel and selling Israeli gas to Europe. Russia and China are getting close. And then there's America, who is strengthening friendship with India against China through Quad. Economic interests of India are now linked with those of Western countries, all thanks to Narendra Modi. India is a fairly large country and it's considered to be a growing power in the world, the third largest in fact, quite soon. Strong powers need to make bold moves, so if there's war in Ukraine, it will be interesting to see whether Narendra Modi can step up to the challenge and decide which camp India is ready to stay put in and ensure Indian interests are protected.
President Putin has warned the West not to cross what he called a red line with Russia, stating that it would trigger an asymmetrical, rapid and harsh response.
When a nuclear-armed country fights to the end, it will have consequences far beyond the borders.
Великой Победы! Ура!
И вы окажетесь втянутыми в этот конфликт помимо своей воли.